Good morning, Dan Kapinka with Purity Movement, day 2, pretty exciting. Today we're going to be talking about the topic of temptation, and I'm going to start out just reading 3 verses out of the Bible. Thought it was a great way to start the day, and we're going to talk about how temptation impacts my life and how hopefully some of my stories and humility can help you in your journey. So let me go ahead and start reading. We're going to read out of James chapter 1, verses 13 through 15. So let me quick read this, and then we'll talk about it. So verse 13, and remember when you are being tempted, do not say, God has tempted me. God is never tempted to do wrong, and he never tempts anyone else. Verse 14, temptation comes from our own desires, which entices us and drags us away. Verse 15, then these desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. Let me read that again. And when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. When we give in just a little bit, right? When Satan's attacking us and when he's whispering in our ear, it's okay. No big deal. You can look at that magazine. You can look at that R-rated movie. You can look at anything you want. It's your life. When you say yes to that little tiny whisper, it can grow extremely fast into many things that are extremely that can destroy your marriage. It can destroy your life. I'll give just a couple examples of my own journey. But several years ago, I was on a trip to San Francisco for work, and I was in San Francisco for a national auto dealers meeting, and I knew this, so my accountability group knew it. Everybody knew where I was going to be, so I could make sure I didn't make a mistake. I didn't fall to sin. And I'll never forget this. It was the last night before I was going to fly home in San Francisco. I was in my hotel room. I was alone. And when I'm alone is when I'm most vulnerable. It's when Satan attacks me the most. And I remember I had the TV on. I was flipping through channels. And this little whisper in my ear was saying, it's okay. No big deal. You can look at this. It's all good. You're fine. You're strong enough. You can handle it. And I unfortunately listened to that voice that night. I looked at some things that I shouldn't have. I watched some movies that had some sexual things in them. And the problem is it just doesn't go away. 30 seconds later, a day later, a week later, it doesn't leave your brain. It doesn't leave your mind. And so I sinned, and I messed up that night. But that's an example of for me in my journey, when I'm alone, when it's just me in a hotel room, that is where I'm weakest. My accountability group knows. When I'm in a hotel room, they all know it. And they all are praying for me, talking to me. And there's other things that I'm doing to make sure that I don't, that I submit to God and not allow those schemes from the devil to win. So again, in this verse, it's talking about God's not the one that tempts us. We give in to the desires of the world, right? The world is pulling at us. The world is saying it's okay. Right now, I was talking to someone yesterday about this. It's amazing how right now in the world, there's so much gray. There's so many things that are tolerated today that 25 years ago we would never tolerate. Whether it's a swimsuit, whether it's a commercial. You look at some of the commercials that are on TV today. You look at what is labeled a PG-13 movie. There's nudity in PG-13 movies today. 25 years ago, you would never ever see that. Today, you can go to a beach and see so much skin that it's crazy. I have to be careful when I'm on a beach because I know what my weakness is. I know how easy it is for me to make those errors. For me in my walk with God, and for me in my marriage, being a dad, trying to be a spiritual leader in the home. These are all things that I'm vulnerable to, and I got to be very careful of. So now that I know that it's not God that's tempting me, right? It's the devil. It's that little whisper in my ear. It's okay, Dan. It's not a big deal. You can look at that porno movie or whatever that is. That is from the world, and that is from the devil. And we have to be on guard. We have to make sure. I know for myself and my journey, I have to be on guard all the time. I have just a couple things I'll finish with is I have an accountability app on my phone. It's called Accountability for You. I pay $5 every month for this app, and that blocks anything on my phone. I can't get to anything inappropriate on my phone, so that's one protection. At my house, my wife sees everything. We have a app that's connected to our Wi-Fi. So anything that I see in my home, my wife sees. Am I worried that if I didn't have that, I'd make a mistake? I think I've grown quite a bit that I don't know if I would, but still, I have to have that in place. If she's gone on a trip and I'm home by myself, I don't wanna set myself up for failure. I want to set myself up for success, and I want to do whatever I can to get closer to God, to run towards God, and not, the closer I'm to God, the stronger that my confidence is in my Bible reading, my prayer life. The less chance I have of allowing that little whisper to win when the devil is attacking me. When I'm in a hotel room, when I'm in my car, I drive 55,000 miles a year in my car. So there's a lot of time that I'm alone. And it's important that I have the different things in my life that I've built around me to make sure that I make the right decision. So thank you for today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you listening this morning, and I hope these verses in James chapter 1 will impact you today. I hope you make the best of your day today, and I hope that you choose God. You choose to submit to God and not allow the devil to win. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.